Unbeatable is a rhythm game where music is illegal and you do crimes. It's the debut title for developer D-Cell Games, and I've been waiting for it to come out for a while. I originally played it back when the white label demo released on Steam in 2021, and I thought it was pretty fun. The demo had a very small look at what the story mode would be like. After you completed the short section, its main focus was letting you play songs in the arcade mode. The game also just looked really cool. It has this early 2000s anime aesthetic that I think fits perfectly with the theme it's going for, and the music's not bad either. All of the songs are original, and ever since I played the first demo, I've had a good amount of the OST in my playlist. A new demo came out recently and brought with it some new songs and a bigger look at the story mode. When I found out, I got excited and downloaded it the second it came out, and this is what I thought about it. In the main menu, you see your character riding a train alone, while a soft song plays in the background. You can see flickers of light coming in from the windows all throughout the train. The environment itself is very urban, but also kind of calming in a way. I think it's nice because you can get a sense of the game's theme just from this scene alone. The menu is also kind of dynamic, with every time you press a selection in the menu, the camera moves to somewhere else within the train, and the options for that menu are shown on a poster or on an overhead sign. I like that, and I think it adds to the scene. The arcade menu is very different compared to the main menu, and is a huge improvement from what it was back in White Label. With the bright colors and more upbeat music playing in the background, it's kind of Y2K futuristic and reminds me of a PS2 era racing game. The graphics themselves are nice. I like the early 2000s grunge thing it's going for. The characters look good and are distinct from each other. The color palette is very bright and punchy. Walking around looks good, and cutscenes have this look to them like watching an episode of an old anime. I think it fits nicely. My only problem with the game's look is the VHS filter. By default, there's this VHS filter over the game. I'm guessing it's to help with that old school look, which I can understand, but honestly, it just hurts my eyes, so I'm glad that there's an option to turn it off. Other than that, I like the look of the game, but looks aren't all that matter. What about the gameplay? The demo has two modes, story mode and arcade mode. When starting story mode, you play as a character named Rest. She's talking to two of her lackeys, Apoko and Poco. They're like the police force, and they're going over information that they have on a group of fugitives that they're looking for. These fugitives just so happen to be our main cast of characters, Beat, Quaver, Treble, and Clef. We play as Beat, a young girl with pink hair who happens to be the vocalist for the band formed with the other previously mentioned members. After determining that they don't have enough information on you, you see your main cast of characters in a train that is derailing into water. Getting up and gathering their bearings, they find shelter in an old shack Quaver's parents used to hang out at. After helping each other clean up and deciding to get some rest, the story moves on from here. After this, the story kind of jumps around. I feel like things would make more sense if we had more context, but it is just a demo. All I know is Beat is an aggressive girl who has a healthy disrespect for authority. Quaver is a very young girl whose parents are either missing or dead. Treble and Clef are brother and sister, but Treble is more laid back while Clef is more loud, and the group seems to be currently butting heads, but Beat and Quaver are still doing just fine. While playing, you get to freely walk around different areas. The maps are segmented off into smaller spaces divided by screens, and they look nice. Walking around, you can talk to other characters, get into fights with the cops, and play mini games like shorter rhythm games, taking pictures, making posters and hanging them up, or you can go to the batting cages. Certain cutscenes have dialogue options you can choose between, but I don't think they'll really change anything in the story. I honestly think they're just there to have them. I'm interested in the story, but the way that it moved around in the demo kinda confused me. I also ran into some bugs. I know it's a demo, but I'm still going to mention them. First, when I finished playing one of the shorter rhythm games after interacting with a vending machine, I couldn't move at all. I found a way to wiggle myself around, but that didn't help. I also couldn't pause the game, so there was no way to get back to the main menu. I ended up having to shut it down and reset. The good thing is that I had a save point right there, so I didn't have to start the demo from the beginning. Another was when I was near the end of the demo. I think I went into an area I wasn't supposed to be in. I don't know, but something messed up, and I was just stuck standing on a stage, and I couldn't do anything. I tried moving around, and then I thought maybe I had to stand under the spotlight for a while, but that didn't work either. So the game was just stuck. But those were the only bugs that I ran into. Moving on, I'm happy that the game has an actual story mode where you can do things other than playing songs all the time, but there was a lot of not rhythm game happening. I walked around for a while, talked to the characters, and got into fights with the cops, but I kept wondering when I was going to get to play an actual song. Sure, when you fight cops you can do some rhythm game stuff, but it's not the same as playing an actual song. But again, maybe it's just the part of the story that the demo takes place in. But speaking of the songs, let's get into arcade mode. Arcade mode is just that. It's where you play songs on a variety of different difficulty levels and set new high scores. The gameplay itself isn't that hard to understand. Unbeatable is a 2-line rhythm game, so you only need 2 buttons in order to play a song, one for the top line and one for the bottom. Notes come from each line and you hit them in the rhythm with the beat. Normal rhythm game stuff. When it comes to the song charts, the notes match with the beats and the hit sound effects add a nice touch to the songs. When listening, it always sounds like the notes are in line with the rhythm, and that's one of the main things a rhythm game needs, so I'm glad it all lines up. The things I don't like about the charts are that the top and bottom of the screen are constantly moving around, and every time you hit a note, your score on the bottom of the screen flashes for a second. I feel like with time, this is something I could get used to, but it's kind of distracting. It can be hard to keep your focus on what notes are coming at you. Also, I play with a controller, and I know the game is meant to be played with a keyboard. I mean, the song Proper Rhythm basically says this.
Now let's type some more on the home row key. Using proper rhythm, wiggle your fingers and jam the key.
But sometimes I press buttons and beat just doesn't move. It doesn't happen often, but this is annoying in any game, and in a rhythm game, it's infuriating, especially if you're going for a full combo. But this could also just be demo problems, so we'll let it slide. So the demo to Unbeatable shows more than the original white label demo did, and I'm happy about that. The look of the game is really cool, and having a rhythm game with a story mode that lets you walk around the world and get into encounters sounds fun and different. Most rhythm game stories are just play whatever song and move on to the next one with maybe something in between, so I'm glad they're trying something new, but I would still like to play more actual songs. Hopefully we can chalk that up to the part of the story that they let us play. I just hope there won't be more bugs like the ones I mentioned earlier in the full game. I really like some of the songs. As I've said, I've been listening to them since the original demo came out, and I can't wait to see what new songs will be in the full game. I just wish there was a way to remove some of the effects while playing a song, and I hope they can fix the input rating for controllers. I like Unbeatable. I like the art style, and the OST has some bangers. Arcade mode is fine, but I hope that the story mode is better when the full release comes out. I'll be buying the game on day 1, but for now, I have to give the demo 2.5 pink-haired musicians out of 5. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. I always underestimate how long editing a short video can be, but it's still kind of fun. So I appreciate you making it to the end of the video. If you want to see what I think about the most recent Nintendo news, or how I feel about video games in general, check out one of these other videos for me. My name's Vaughn, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.